My name is Minnie Perkins. I'm 35 years old. On February 16th, 2025, at 9:47 p.m., I called my mother while I was bleeding heavily in my car, contractions tearing through my body every 4 minutes. I was 34 weeks pregnant and terrified. She was at my sister-in-law Heather's luxurious baby shower, surrounded by laughter and glasses of champagne. Without a trace of concern, she snapped, "Call a cab, Minnie. We're busy. Heather's shower is more important right now. Just handle it yourself like you always do." Then she hung up. I drove myself to the hospital in agony and gave birth completely alone. A week later, when my mother knocked on my door with a bright smile, asking to see the baby, that was the moment everything reversed forever. And what I said next would make them regret those words for the rest of their lives. But to understand that moment, you need to understand how I got there. I learned I was invisible when I was 7 years old. It was a Saturday in May. I had the lead role in my school play. Well, not the lead. I was tree number 3. But to me, at 7, it felt like everything. I'd practiced my lines for weeks. All 2 of them. My teacher, Mrs. Patterson, told my parents the show was at 2 p.m. She even sent home a flyer. That same Saturday, my brother Donovan had a soccer championship game. He was 10, the golden child, the one who needed support. The morning of my play, my mother sat me down at the kitchen table. She had that look on her face, the one that meant she was about to ask me to understand something I didn't want to understand. "Minnie, honey," she said, touching my hand. "You know how important Donovan's game is, right? His whole team is counting on him." I was 7. I nodded. "We can't be in 2 places at once," she continued. "And you're so mature for your age. You understand, don't you? You'll have other plays." I understood. I stood on that stage as tree number 3. I said my 2 lines. I looked out at the audience and saw Mrs. Patterson in the front row. She was clapping. There was an empty seat next to her. 2 empty seats. One for my mother, one for my father. After the show, Mrs. Patterson drove me home. She didn't ask where my parents were. I think she already knew. When I got home, my parents were celebrating. Donovan's team had won. There was cake. My mother hugged him. My father lifted him onto his shoulders. "How was your play, honey?" my mother asked, almost as an afterthought. "Good," I said. I went to my room. I didn't cry. I learned something more useful that day. I learned that asking for help wasn't forbidden. It just wasn't for me. The pattern continued. At 14, I found bank statements on the kitchen table. Donovan had a college fund. $50,000. I didn't have one. "Donovan needs the support," my father explained when I asked. "You're smart, Minnie. You'll get scholarships. You always figure things out." I did figure it out. I got a full ride to Portland State. I studied medical billing. Practical. Stable. I chose the closest school, so I wouldn't owe them anything. Not money, not gratitude, nothing. At 22, Donovan's startup failed. He'd borrowed $28,000 from friends, family, credit cards. He couldn't pay it back. My parents bailed him out. $35,000. They wrote the check at the kitchen table while I was planning my wedding. My wedding budget, $4,000. "Donovan made a mistake," my mother said. "He needs help. You and Caleb are doing fine on your own. We got married at Caleb's fire station. 50 people. Potluck reception. String lights and wildflowers. It was perfect. My parents left early. Donovan had another crisis. He needed them. At 30, Caleb injured his back on the job. A routine call turned into a fall from a ladder. Surgery, physical therapy, medical bills, $73,000. Insurance covered some. We still owed $42,000. I asked my parents if they could help. Just a loan. We'd pay it back. "We're stretched thin right now, Minnie," my father said. You understand. 2 months later, Donovan posted a photo on Instagram. A brand new Audi, $45,000, a gift from our parents. I stopped asking after that. Not because I didn't need help, because I needed to stop breaking my own heart. If you've been the invisible child, you know what I mean. If you haven't, I hope you never find out. And if you're watching this and thinking about your own family, your own patterns, leave a comment. Tell me I'm not alone in this, because for a long time, I thought I was. July 2024. I found out I was pregnant. Caleb and I had been trying for 2 years. Quietly, hopefully. Every negative test felt like another door closing. But that July morning, I saw 2 pink lines. I called Caleb at the fire station. He was on a 24-hour shift. When I told him, he cried. My strong, steady firefighter husband cried on the phone. "We're going to be parents," he whispered. "We're going to be parents," I repeated. That same week, Heather, my brother Donovan's wife, announced she was pregnant too, 8 weeks along. Due date, mid-April 2025. My due date, April 10th. We were going to have babies 3 weeks apart. The difference in how our families reacted was immediate. Heather's announcement happened at a family dinner. My parents' house. Champagne. Tears. My mother hugged Heather so tightly I thought she might break her. "Our first grandbaby," my mother said, her voice thick with emotion. Donovan beamed. My father clapped him on the back. I was sitting right there, 5 weeks pregnant, waiting. "Actually," I said quietly, "Caleb and I are expecting too." The room went silent for a beat. Then my mother smiled. Polite, distant. "Oh, Minnie, that's wonderful, honey. Congratulations." That was it. No hug, no tears, no champagne. Heather posted about her pregnancy on Instagram that night. A professionally styled photo, her hand on her belly, Donovan kissing her cheek. Caption: "Our greatest adventure begins." My mother commented, "Our first grandson. We can't wait to meet you." I was pregnant first, by 3 weeks. The ultrasound appointments told the same story. Heather's first ultrasound. My parents went with her and Donovan. My mother posted about it on Facebook. "Best day ever. Heard our grandbaby's heartbeat." My first ultrasound. I asked if they wanted to come. "Oh, honey, we have plans that day," my mother said. "But let us know how it goes." Caleb's mother came instead. Janet. She held my hand in the waiting room. She cried when she heard the heartbeat. She asked for a copy of the ultrasound photo. My own mother sent a text. How did it go? In October, Heather had a gender reveal party. 60 people, a confetti cannon. When the blue confetti exploded, my mother screamed with joy. She posted 17 photos. Caption: "Our first grandson. The Harper name continues." I was carrying a boy, too. And a girl. But they didn't know that. Because at my 20-week ultrasound on November 12th, Dr. Judith Romano looked at the screen and smiled. "Congratulations," she said. "You're having twins." I stared at the monitor. 2 heartbeats, 2 tiny bodies. 1 boy, 1 girl. Caleb grabbed my hand. His eyes were wide. "Twins?" he whispered. "Twin A is a boy," Dr. Romano said. "Twin B is a girl. Both looking healthy. Good growth. Strong heartbeats." I should have been terrified. We could barely afford 1 baby. Our apartment was small. Caleb's firefighter salary was steady but modest. My medical billing job paid the bills, but twins meant double everything. But all I felt was joy. That night, Caleb wanted to call everyone. Tell the world. Tell my parents. I stopped him. "Not yet," I said. "Why not?" I couldn't explain it then. Not fully. But somewhere deep inside, I needed to know something. I needed to know if they would show up for me even when they thought it was easy. Not dramatic, not an emergency, just me, having a normal pregnancy, needing normal support. Let's keep it to ourselves for a little while, I said. Just us. Caleb looked at me. He understood. He always understood. Okay, he said. Just us. We told his family. His mother cried again. His father started building a double crib in his garage. His sister started buying matching outfits. I didn't tell mine. Through November, December, and January, I avoided my family. Video calls only. Camera angles that hid my belly. Excuses for every invitation. Thanksgiving. Caleb's working. We're staying home. Christmas. Doctor said I should rest. Pregnancy complications. Every time my mother called, I kept it brief. Surface level. Fine. Everything's fine. Heather, meanwhile, was glowing on social media. Professional maternity photos every month. Baby shower planning. Nursery reveals. My mother commented on every single post. I watched from the outside. The invisible daughter. Again. But this time, I had a plan. This time, I had a test. And on February 16th, they failed it. The week before Heather's baby shower, I felt off. It was subtle at first. A tightness in my belly. Cramping that felt different from the normal pregnancy aches. I was 33 weeks and 5 days. The twins were active. My doctor appointments had been fine, but something felt wrong. On Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, Caleb brought home flowers. Roses. My favorite. How are you feeling? He asked, setting them on the counter. I touched my belly. Another cramp. Tired, I said. Just tired. Do you want to go to the hospital? Get checked out? It's probably nothing. I have an appointment Monday anyway. But Monday never came. Not the way I expected. Saturday, February 15th. My mother called. Minnie, tomorrow's the big day. Heather's shower. I'd been invited. Of course. The whole family was invited. 112 people. At my mother's country club. A Little Prince theme. $8,500. My mother had been planning it for 6 weeks. I don't think I can make it, Mom, I said carefully. I'm not feeling great. Oh, honey, it's just pregnancy fatigue. Heather's been exhausted too, but she's pushing through. It would mean so much if you came. For family. Family. I'll try, I lied. That night, the cramping got worse. Caleb was on shift. A 24-hour rotation that started Saturday morning at 8. He wouldn't be home until Sunday at 8. I tried to sleep. I couldn't. Sunday morning, I woke up at 6. The cramping was stronger. Rhythmic. I timed them. 12 minutes apart. I called my OB's emergency line. The nurse on call listened to my symptoms. It could be Braxton Hicks, she said. But at 34 weeks, we don't take chances with twins. If they get closer together or you start bleeding, go to the ER immediately. Okay, I said. I didn't call my parents. I didn't want to ruin the shower. God, even then, I was trying not to be inconvenient. The shower started at 3 p.m. By 3:30, my mother's Instagram was full of photos. The venue looked like a fairy tale. Blue and gold balloons. A dessert table that could feed 200 people. Heather in a flowing white dress, laughing. My mother beside her, beaming. Caption: showering our daughter-in-law with love. #BabyHarper. #LittlePrince. By 6 p.m., the cramping was worse. By 6:30, I was in the bathroom, staring at blood. Not a lot, but enough. My hands were shaking when I called Caleb. Hey, babe, he answered. I could hear the station alarm in the background. Everything okay? I'm bleeding, I said. My voice cracked. Not a lot, but I'm bleeding, and the cramps are getting closer. How close? 7 minutes. I'm leaving right now. You're on shift. Minnie, I'm leaving. Drive yourself to OHSU. I'll meet you there. Can you drive? I looked at myself in the mirror. Pale. Scared. Alone. Yes, I said. Drive safe. I love you. I'm coming. He hung up. I stood there for a moment. Then I called the one person who was supposed to be there for me. I called my mother. It was 9:47 p.m. when I made the call. I was in my car. In our driveway. Southeast Portland. The engine was running. Contractions were 4 minutes apart now. The bleeding had gotten worse. I'd put a towel on the driver's seat. Every contraction felt like my body was being split open. The phone rang. Once, twice, 3 times. Minnie? My mother's voice was bright, happy. I could hear music in the background. Laughter, champagne glasses clinking. Mom. My voice shook. I'm in labor. I need you. Silence. Then, what? Minnie, you're only 34 weeks. It's probably just Braxton Hicks. Have you called your doctor? I'm bleeding. Contractions are 4 minutes apart. Something's wrong. Another pause. Then her voice changed. Impatient. Minnie, we're in the middle of everything here. The shower's still going. There are so many people. Can you call a cab? Heather's shower is more important right now. Just handle it yourself like you always do. The words hit me like a physical blow. Mom, please, I'm scared. You'll be fine, sweetheart. You're strong. Call me tomorrow and let me know how it goes. We're busy. Love you. Click. She hung up. I sat there in my car, phone in my hand, staring at the screen. Call ended. Duration: 1 minute, 43 seconds. A contraction hit. I gasped. Gripped the steering wheel. When it passed, I put the car in reverse, and I drove myself to the hospital. The drive to OHSU should have taken 18 minutes. I made it in 12. Red lights. I didn't stop. I couldn't. Contractions, every 4 minutes, then 3. The steering wheel was slick with sweat. Or maybe tears. I don't remember. I had Caleb on speaker. I'm almost there, he kept saying. Just breathe. I'm coming. His voice was the only thing keeping me together. Southeast Hawthorne to the Ross Island Bridge. Bridge to Marquam Hill. The hospital glowed on the hilltop like a beacon. I pulled up to the emergency entrance at 10:02 p.m. A security guard saw me, saw my face, saw the blood. He ran to get a wheelchair. How far apart are the contractions? He asked. 3 minutes, I gasped. How many babies? 2. His eyes widened. He pushed faster. Inside, everything was bright. Too bright. Nurses in blue scrubs. The smell of antiseptic. Someone asking questions I couldn't answer. Name? Minnie Perkins. Due date? April 10th, but there are 2. Twins. Who's your OB? Dr. Romano. Judith Romano. Is anyone with you? My husband. He's coming. He's a firefighter. He's coming. Any other family we should call? I almost laughed. Almost. No, I said. No one else. They wheeled me to labor and delivery. Room 12. The lights were fluorescent. Cold. A nurse, her name tag said Bryn, helped me onto the bed. Let's get you hooked up to the monitors, she said gently. We need to see how the babies are doing. 2 belts around my belly. 2 monitors. 2 heartbeats. Fast. Too fast. Bryn's face changed. I'm paging Dr. Romano, she said. Don't move, okay? At 10:05 p.m., Caleb burst through the door, still in his firefighter uniform, soot on his face. He'd come straight from a call. Minnie, I'm here, I said. I'm okay. He grabbed my hand, kissed it. You're not alone, he said. I'm here. Dr. Romano arrived at 10:12 p.m. She checked the monitors. Checked me. Her face was calm but serious. Minnie, she said. Baby A's heart rate is dropping. We need to get them out now. Emergency C-section. Now? I whispered. Now. Are they going to be okay? She squeezed my arm. We're going to do everything we can, but we need to move fast. They prepped me for surgery, shaved my belly, IV in my arm, oxygen mask, Caleb in surgical scrubs beside me. At 10:45 p.m., they wheeled me into the OR. The lights were even brighter there. Blinding. The anesthesiologist talked me through the epidural. A pinch, pressure, then numbness spreading through my lower body. Dr. Romano stood on the other side of the curtain. Ready, Minnie? I wasn't, but I nodded. Caleb's right here, she said. We're starting now. Pressure, pulling, tugging. No pain, but I could feel them working. Caleb held my hand so tight it hurt. Almost there, Dr. Romano said. Here comes baby A. Then a cry. Small, weak, but a cry. It's a boy, Bryn announced. He's crying, Caleb sobbed. Minnie, he's crying. They held him up for a second. Tiny, red, perfect. 4 pounds, 2 ounces, someone said. Good, strong cry. The NICU team took him. I couldn't see. Couldn't hold him. Baby B coming now, Dr. Romano said. More pulling, more pressure. Then, silence. Come on, sweetheart, Dr. Romano said softly. Come on. Silence. Time of birth, 11:24 p.m., she said quietly. No cry. It's a girl, Bryn whispered. No cry. 3 pounds, 9 ounces. No cry. Dr. Romano's voice was gentle, broken. Minnie, I'm so sorry. It was an umbilical cord accident. There was nothing. I'm so sorry. The world stopped. What? I couldn't breathe. What does that mean? Your daughter didn't make it. I'm so sorry. Caleb made a sound I'd never heard before, a sound of pure grief. Can I hold her? I asked. Of course, Bryn said. They finished the surgery, cleaned her, wrapped her in a pink blanket, and they placed my daughter in my arms. She was perfect. Tiny nose, Caleb's chin, my closed eyes. She looked like she was sleeping. Hi, Mabel, I whispered. I'm your mama. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I couldn't save you. Caleb touched her face. She's beautiful, he said through tears. We held her for 43 minutes. They took photos, footprints, a lock of her hair. 43 minutes. The only 43 minutes I would ever have with my daughter. When they took her away, I held my son. Miles. 4 pounds, 2 ounces. Breathing. Fighting. Alive. One in my arms, one gone forever. My parents were still at a party. The next 3 days were a blur. Miles stayed in the NICU. Observation. He was small but strong, breathing on his own, eating from a bottle. The nurses said he was a fighter. I stayed in a recovery room. Caleb barely left. He slept in the chair beside my bed. On Monday, February 17th, I deleted all my social media. Instagram, Facebook, everything. Caleb posted nothing about the birth. His family knew. They came. They helped. His mother brought food. His father sat with me while Caleb went home to shower. My family? Silence. On Wednesday, a text from my mother. How are you feeling, sweetheart? Heather's shower was beautiful. When's your due date again? Only a few more weeks. I stared at that text for a long time. She didn't know. She didn't know I'd given birth. She didn't know about the twins. She didn't know about Mabel. I blocked her number. I blocked my father's. I blocked Donovan's. On Friday, Caleb and I met with the hospital grief counselor. She gave us resources, support groups. She helped us plan Mabel's cremation. You're allowed to grieve however you need to, she said. There's no right way to do this. But there was one thing I knew with absolute certainty. My parents would never hold Mabel's ashes. They would never know her name. They had chosen a party over their daughter's emergency, and they would live with that choice for the rest of their lives. On Saturday, February 22nd, Miles came home. 5 pounds, 1 ounce, healthy, perfect. We set up his bassinet in our bedroom. Caleb's mother had bought everything we needed. 2 of everything, because she'd known about the twins. She cried when she held Miles. "I wish I could have met her," she said, looking at Mabel's ashes on the mantel. "Me too," I whispered. That night I fed Miles his bottle. 2 a.m. The apartment was quiet. Just us. His tiny hand wrapped around my finger. "I'm going to protect you," I told him. "No one will ever make you feel invisible. I promise." Sunday morning, February 23rd, exactly 7 days after I gave birth, someone knocked on my door. I was feeding Miles. Caleb was in the shower. I looked through the peephole. My mother, holding flowers, a gift bag, smiling. I stood there for a moment, breathing. Then I opened the door. "Minnie!" She rushed forward like she was going to hug me. I stepped back. She stopped. Her smile faltered. "I heard you had the baby. Why didn't you call me back? I've been trying to reach you all week. My calls aren't going through. Did you change your number?" I said nothing. Just looked at her. "Well?" She laughed nervously. "Can I come in? I brought gifts. Let me see my grandson." Miles was in my arms, wrapped in a blue blanket, 7 days old. My mother's eyes went to him. She gasped. "Oh, Minnie, he's here. He's beautiful. Let me hold him." I took another step back. "What baby?" I said. Her face went blank. "What? What do you mean? What baby?" "Your baby. My grandson." "Minnie, what are you talking about?" "What baby, Mom?" "Stop playing games. Let me hold him." I shifted Miles in my arms, turned slightly. Let her see the living room behind me. On the mantel, clearly visible, was a small white urn. Engraved in gold script, Mabel Rose Perkins, February 16th, 2025. My mother saw it. Her face went white. What is that?" "That's Mabel," I said calmly. "My daughter, your granddaughter. Born February 16th at 11:24 p.m., stillborn." "What?" She grabbed the door frame. "Daughter." "Minnie, you were having twins?" "Yes. And one. Oh my God. Oh my God. Minnie, why didn't you tell me?" I looked at her. Really looked at her. "I did," I said. "I called you? February 16th, 9:47 p.m. I was bleeding. I was terrified. I told you I needed you." Her face crumpled. I don't remember." "You said Heather's shower was more important. You told me to call a cab. You told me to handle it myself like I always do. Then you hung up." No, Minnie. I didn't. I couldn't have." "You did." She reached for me. I stepped back. "Please," she sobbed. "Please, Minnie. I made a mistake. I didn't know it was serious. I didn't know you were having twins. I didn't know." "You didn't know because you didn't care enough to ask. You didn't know because I wasn't important enough to check on. You didn't know because for my entire life, you've chosen everyone and everything else over me." "That's not true." "It is true. Donovan's soccer game over my school play. His college fund over mine. His business bailout over my wedding. His baby shower over my emergency. Every single time, Mom. Every single time, I was the one who had to understand. The one who had to handle it myself." Tears streamed down her face. "Please let me meet him. Please let me hold him. I'll do anything." "Which one?" I asked. She blinked. "What? Which baby do you want to hold? The one you came for? Or the one you'll never meet?" Her legs buckled. She grabbed the door frame to stay upright. I looked at her for a long moment. This woman who gave birth to me. This woman who was supposed to love me. This woman who chose a party over her daughter's life. You weren't there when they were born, I said quietly. Miles lived. Mabel died. And you weren't there for either of them. You weren't there for me. Minnie, please. I'm going to protect my son from people who make him feel invisible. Even if that means protecting him from you. I stepped back. I closed the door. She stood outside crying for 22 minutes. I timed it. I didn't open the door. 6 weeks later, on April 2nd, Heather went into labor. According to the ultrasounds, she was having a boy. One healthy baby boy. The Harper grandson. The one they'd been waiting for. She delivered at the same hospital. OHSU. But here's the thing about ultrasounds. They're not always right. Heather delivered at 6:47 p.m. Not one baby. Two. Twin girls. Surprise twins. The kind that hide behind each other on scans. The kind that even good doctors sometimes miss. Rosie Harper, 5 pounds, 8 ounces. Healthy. Nora Harper, 4 pounds, 11 ounces. Breathing issues. Transient tachypnea of the newborn. Straight to the NICU. I heard about it through Aubrey Morrison, my best friend from college. She worked at OHSU, labor and delivery. Your mom and dad have been here for 36 hours straight, she texted me. They look exhausted. Heather's overwhelmed. One baby's in the NICU. Thought you should know. I stared at that text. 2 babies instead of 1. 1 in the NICU. My parents camping out at the hospital. The irony was so sharp it cut. I didn't respond to Aubrey. I didn't reach out to my family, but I did something else. I texted Heather. Congratulations on the twins. I hope Nora gets better soon. If you need anything, let me know. 3 hours later, she replied. Thank you. Can we talk? We met at a cafe in May. Southeast Portland, close to my apartment. Heather looked exhausted. Dark circles under her eyes. Hair in a messy bun. But she was smiling as she pushed the double stroller through the door. Rosie and Nora, 2 months old. Both home now. Both healthy. She sat across from me. Looked at Miles in my arms. 8 weeks old. Chunky and happy. He's beautiful, she said. Thank you. So are they. Silence for a moment. Then Heather said, I didn't know what they did to you. I looked up. The night of my shower, she continued. I didn't know you called. I didn't know you were in labor. I didn't know about the twins. They didn't tell me any of it. Why are you telling me this? Because I need you to know I didn't know. When your mom told everyone you delivered early but were doing fine, I believed her. When she said you needed space, I gave you space. But then Aubrey told me what really happened, and I can't believe they did that to you. I studied her face. She looked genuine, horrified. I lost a daughter that night, I said quietly. Mabel. She was stillborn. Heather's eyes filled with tears. I know. Aubrey told me. Minnie, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. I know, but I benefited from it. They chose my shower over your emergency. That's not okay. I didn't know what to say. Heather reached across the table. Donovan and I want Miles to know his cousins. Not through your parents, through us, if you'll let us. I looked at her. Really looked. Why? Because family shouldn't be about who needs the most attention or who throws the best party. It should be about showing up. And they didn't show up for you. But I want to. Something in my chest loosened. Okay, I said. She smiled. Relieved. Okay. We had coffee. We talked about sleepless nights and diaper blowouts and the strange isolation of new motherhood. When we left, she hugged me. Thank you for giving me a chance, she said. Thank you for asking for one. My parents didn't stop trying. Between April and October, my mother left 17 voicemails. I listened to 0. In May, my father sent a letter. Handwritten. 5 pages. We made a terrible mistake. Please let us make it right. Please let us meet our grandson. We're so sorry about Mabel. We didn't know. Please, Minnie, please." I didn't open it. In June, they sent flowers to my apartment. The delivery person left them outside my door. I returned them to the florist. In July, they sent gifts for Miles. Toys, clothes, books. I donated everything to Goodwill. In August, they showed up at Caleb's fire station. Caleb told them to leave. "If Minnie wants contact, she'll reach out," he said. "Until then, respect her boundaries." They left, but my mother sat in the parking lot crying for an hour. One of Caleb's colleagues told him later. "I almost felt bad for her," Travis said, "but then I remembered what she did to you, and I didn't feel bad anymore." In October, something changed. My father had a stroke, a minor one, stress-induced. He collapsed at home. My mother called 911. The hospital stabilized him. The doctor's advice: reduce stress, reconnect with family, find peace. But the family he needed to reconnect with, me, wouldn't answer his calls. My mother left a voicemail after his stroke. "Minnie, it's Mom. Dad had a stroke. He's okay. He's going to be okay. But the doctor said he needs to reduce stress. He needs family. He needs you. Please, please call me back. We miss you. We love you. We're so sorry. Please." I deleted the voicemail without finishing it. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't heartless. I was protecting myself. And my son. Because here's what they didn't understand. I could forgive a lot of things, but I couldn't forgive them for not being there when Mabel died. I couldn't forgive them for choosing a party over my life. And I wouldn't let Miles grow up thinking it was okay to treat people that way. In November, my mother and father started marriage counseling. Donovan told Heather. Heather told me. "They're falling apart," Heather said gently. "Your dad blames your mom for staying at the shower. Your mom blames your dad for never standing up to her. They're barely speaking." "I know what that feels like," I said. "Do you ever think about reaching out?" "No." "Even with your dad's stroke?" "Heather, my dad has had 35 years to reach out to me, to see me, to choose me. One stroke doesn't erase that." She nodded. She didn't push. That's the difference between her and them. She listened. Christmas, 2025. Heather and Donovan invited us to their house. Just us. My parents weren't invited. "We want the kids to know each other," Heather said, "without all the complicated stuff." Miles was 9 months old, sitting up, babbling, grabbing everything. Rosie and Nora were 8 months, crawling, giggling. We spent the day on the floor with the babies, wrapping paper everywhere, chaos and joy. Caleb's parents came too. Janet brought her famous cinnamon rolls. Caleb's dad played guitar while the babies bounced. It was loud, messy, perfect. At one point, Heather and I were in the kitchen. The cousins were in the living room with the grandparents. "Your mom called me yesterday," Heather said quietly. I looked up. "She wanted to know if we were seeing you for Christmas." I told her yes. She asked if she could come. "What did you say?" I said it wasn't my decision, that if you wanted her there, you'd invite her yourself. "Thank you." Heather touched my arm. For what it's worth, she sounded broken. "Good," I said. Then I paused. "That sounds cruel." "No," Heather said. "It sounds honest." That night after we got home, I put Miles to bed. Caleb and I sat in the living room. Mabel's urn on the mantel. Butterfly ornaments on the tree. My small way of including her. "Do you ever regret cutting them off?" Caleb asked. I thought about it. Really thought. "No," I said. "I regret that I had to, but I don't regret doing it." "That makes sense. Does it make me a bad person?" "Minnie." He took my hand. "You're the best person I know. You're protecting our son. You're honoring our daughter. You're setting boundaries. That's not bad. That's brave. I leaned into him. I miss having parents, I admitted, but I don't miss them. You have parents, he said. My parents. They love you. They love Miles. They show up. He was right. I did have parents, just not the ones who gave birth to me. And that had to be okay. March 15th, 2026. Miles's first birthday. We threw a party at our apartment. Nothing fancy. Cake from the grocery store, balloons from the dollar store. Our living room barely fit everyone. But everyone came. Caleb's family. Heather, Donovan, and the twins. Aubrey, Travis, and some guys from the fire station. We sang happy birthday. Miles smashed his cake. Blue frosting everywhere. I looked around the room, at the people who showed up, the people who chose us. This was family, not the people who shared my blood, but the people who showed up when it mattered. After everyone left, Caleb and I took Miles outside. We'd planted a butterfly garden in the small backyard. For Mabel, it was evening. The sun was setting. Miles toddled through the grass. He'd just started walking 2 weeks ago. A butterfly landed on one of the flowers. A monarch. Orange and black. Miles pointed. "Buh," he said, his word for butterfly. I knelt beside him. "That's right, baby. Butterfly." Caleb put his arm around me. "Hi, Mabel," I whispered. "We miss you." The butterfly stayed for a moment, then flew away. Somewhere across town, my mother was probably crying. My father was probably staring at photos of a grandson he'd never met. But here, in this garden, with my son and my husband, and the memory of my daughter, I was home. I want to ask you something. If you were in my position, what would you have done? Would you have forgiven them? Would you have let them back in? Or would you have done what I did? Chosen yourself, chosen your child, and walked away from the people who taught you that you didn't matter? Leave a comment. Tell me what you think, because I need to know I'm not alone in this. And if my story resonated with you, if you've ever been the invisible child, the glass child, the one who always had to understand, please hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel, because there are more stories like mine. And maybe together, we can stop feeling invisible. Thank you for listening. Thank you for seeing me.